Hey everyone, Dr. John here at Evolved Chiropractic, and lately we have been getting a lot of questions regarding pediatric chiropractic care. So today we are going to talk about the 3 top reasons that we see babies and kiddos coming into our clinic. So reason number 1 as to why we see a lot of babies and kids in our clinic is due to birth trauma. So the birth experience is very traumatic, not only for the mother, but for the baby as well, as they have a very delicate neurospinal system. And so what happens is they are oftentimes brought out into this world by being pulled out of the womb by hands that are not so gentle. And so that puts a lot of stress on a very delicate area of that spine. You know, if you ever give your baby to someone new, you always tell them, support the head and neck, right? So when they're being pulled out by their head and neck, that compromises the nervous system in that area. It creates these subluxations or these spinal misalignments, and that's going to affect their ability to then eat, sleep, poop, as well as grow and develop and meet the milestones that we want them to meet. And so what we need to do is get them seen as soon as possible, because research shows that the large majority of babies have some form of a subluxation pattern. And so by correcting it at a very young age, we are able to restore that neural pathway communication, that communication from the brain to the body, so that they can then continue to grow and develop and thrive in life. Reason number 2 as to why we see a lot of kids in our clinic is due to ear infections and chronic illnesses. So chiropractic care has a huge impact on how the immune system is going to function. It's going to help strengthen it. And the reason that we see a lot of issues with ear infections is because of poor drainage of that middle ear. So kind of their plumbing system becomes backed up, and that's due to the neural pathways having interference within them, so it's not able to communicate to that part of the ear to help facilitate drainage. There's poor peristaltic motion, and so things are not able to properly drain. So when we create, or when we restore that neurological connection from the brain to that middle ear, we're going to help restore that peristaltic motion. That's going to help facilitate drainage of the middle ear, and it's going to allow them to then strengthen their immune system, allow them to get healthy, get well, and it's going to help avoid going the antibiotic route. Because when we get stuck on these antibiotics, what happens is that not only is the bad bacteria killed, but also the good bacteria in their body is also killed. So that's going to weaken their immune system. It's then going to make them more susceptible to reinfection, and that is going to then create this endless cycle where they get reinfections, they get antibiotics, it weakens their immune system, they get infected again, and in a lot of cases as well, these ear infections are actually caused by viruses. So these antibiotics are not going to be of much help for them anyways. So let's choose a more conservative and natural approach that has been proven to be much more effective. And reason number 3 as to why we see a lot of kids in our clinic is due to behavioral issues. So whether they're having a lot of tantrums, a lot of meltdowns, maybe they're just very fight or flight mode, maybe they have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, they have a diagnosis such as ADHD, maybe some sort of sensory or spectrum disorder, that is going to, again, shift their nervous system into a very fight or flight mode, kind of like their gas pedals to the floor. It's go, go, go. Everything's very scary to them. And so they're not able to regulate their emotions properly. And so they're going to have a less than desirable output. And so with chiropractic care, we're going to be focusing on restoring the balance between the sympathetics, which is that fight or flight mode, as well as the parasympathetics, kind of the brake pedal. That's going to be the wellness cycle in their body. Things like growth, development, rest, digestion, relaxation. It's going to allow them to regulate their emotions much more effectively, and they're not going to be in that fearful fight or flight mode state. That stress response will be turned off, and it's going to allow them to just live a much healthier lifestyle.